I want to start this video by saying thank you. I want you guys to know that I appreciate each and every one of you. I know that my channel could be really infrequent with the uploads, seeing that how I had like a 10-month hiatus out of nowhere, but it really makes me appreciate that you guys stuck around and that I even grew a little bit when I wasn't there. And seeing that I could come back, post a video, and gain all these subscribers, it really makes me appreciate the horror community and the people on Twitter that are so nice. And all the shoutouts that I've gotten, you guys really are the best. And I want to thank all the creators that let me collab with them and read some of my stories. It really does mean a lot to me. I know that 100 plus subscribers isn't a lot by any means, seeing how people have like 10 million subscribers, but to me this is a lot. Having this many people like subscribe to my channel and people listening to my stories really makes me glad that I'm doing what I'm doing. And I hope that people are out there having as much fun with the stories as I am when I write them. This story that I'm about to play is called Friendly Face. It was written years back and it was posted onto a long dead channel. It's as dead can be. And it's really, really bad. Like, you'll see. Just, I hope no one gets injured from cringing too hard, but this is like what I was doing before this channel. My channel that I had before this didn't even have half the subscribers that I have now, and I thought this story was like amazing. I'm sure that in the future I'll look back at some of my original stories and cringe just like how I'm doing now, but for right now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I think my stories are decent. I know there's room to improve, but the improvement is slow going. I'm learning every day. As I listen to more stories, read more stories from other amazing authors, I learn how to get better at what I do. And it makes me really glad that people seem to be enjoying what I'm doing. Anyway, enough with all that mushy stuff. Let's get to the story. You've been warned. This is cringy, bro. This is really, really cringy. But anyway, here's one of my... Oh, I almost forgot. This is one of two stories. I didn't write and record many stories back then, but this is one of two. I won't be posting the first one. I'll post that later on, I'm not sure when, but this one I want you guys to hear, even though it's really, really bad. Anyway, without further ado, this is Friendly Face. I'm not what you call an avid gamer, but I do have a weekend tradition with my best friend Joey when I go over at his house and play video games. This is kind of embarrassing because at 25, my favorite video game is Minecraft. I do know there are people who play Minecraft as a job, but I don't get paid to play, so it's a little embarrassing if someone asks, "What's your favorite game?" Besides, it's a great stress reliever after a week of work. But it's not my favorite game for the reasons you're probably thinking. We don't really build structures and things like that. We just gear up and have battle after battle. So we're sitting on Joey's couch and we're having a 2v2. Me and Joey versus some friends. Needless to say, me and Joey win. And then I turn around and kill Joey and then go after the two guys again and kill them before they can get their gear. Me, Joey, and one of the guys burst out into laughter because it's the usual with me. But one of the other guys is new to Minecraft and screams out in anger, "You're such a psycho!" Then exits the game and comes offline. We laugh at him for a solid 2 minutes and then go back to playing. About 2 hours go by and I decide it's about time for me to head home. I tell Joey peace and headed home. It takes about 30 minutes for me to drive home from Joey's house to mine, but I knew it would take even longer than that because of the traffic. It was late into the evening, but the traffic was like it was rush hour. I sat there for about 20 minutes thinking how this was driving me insane. But then I remember an off-road. It was a little ways up, and it should let me avoid the traffic. It would add about 15 minutes onto my drive home, but it would be well worth it. Although there were some houses, it was mostly old people, and hardly nobody drove there because of how bad the roads were. I thought to myself, I could speed, but I just have to avoid the potholes. So my plan was ready, and as soon as I got a chance, I turned onto that road, and as I predicted, there was not a car in sight. And I was off. I was breaking all the speed limits and dodging potholes like I was in a Fast and Furious movie. I was halfway home when I saw a guy on the side of the road next to a house with his car hood open. I'm not the good Samaritan type, but I was in a good mood after remembering this road. So I decided to help him out. So I pulled up next to his car and asked him in a friendly voice, "Did the potholes get you?" He replied in a smile, "Yeah, they got me real good. Can you lend me a hand?" "Sure," I replied. "My dad's a mechanic, so let's see if I remember anything," I said to him, trying to make small talk. He was a big guy with thick rimmed glasses and a friendly smile. I walked to the front of his car and looked under the hood and asked if he had a tool case. "Yeah, it's in the trunk. I'll go see if I can find it," he said. He popped the trunk and I heard him rustling around. "That must be real deep in there," I said, in a joking manner. Then I heard him walk around the car. While still looking at the car, I said, "I think I might have found your problem." Then I looked at him. He didn't have anything. Couldn't find it, I see. "That isn't a problem though. I think I might have some tools in my car." While still under the hood, I looked up at him, and the welcoming look on his face was completely gone. This weirded me out. Then I saw him raise his hands up. Then before I knew it, my face hit his engine as he slammed his car hood on my head. I fell onto the floor, stunned. Then he walked around his car. I was in shock as I laid there. Then I heard more rustling in his trunk. I then realized this man had set a trap for passers-by, and I had fallen for it. I tried to get up, but there was a shooting pain in my back. I could hardly move. I looked around for anything I could use to defend myself. Then my eyes landed on a glass bottle under the car. I grabbed it and thought of ways to use it. But I had to break it, and that would be loud. I had to muffle it though. Then I realized if I covered the point where I broke the glass bottle with my hand, I could muffle it, if even slightly. But I had no time to think about it, so I just smashed it on the ground. It worked, somewhat. It's not as loud as it would have been if I hadn't covered it with my hand, but I got a huge gash. I heard him stop rustling around the trunk for about 3 seconds. I had to cover my mouth so I didn't make a noise from the pain in my back and hand. About 5 seconds later, I heard him start to walk around the car. I laid there playing as if I had passed out. Then I took a quick look at what he had. It was a large hammer. I waited till he raised it up to swing, then I drove the glass bottle into his leg and twisted it so that pieces could break off. He screamed out in pain. Then I fought through the pain in my back and got up. He blocked my way to my car, so I turned around and ran to one of the houses. I looked back at him and he picked a piece of glass out of his leg. Then he started to limp towards me. I'm a big guy, but the sight of him limping towards me was terrifying. And for a man with a leg injury, he was moving pretty fast. I thought to myself, by the time I knock one of these doors, he'd have already gotten to me and I'd be dead. So I decided to run to the back of one of the houses. The houses I went behind had a bush, so I decided to hide in it. I thought to myself, he isn't stupid, he'll obviously know where I'm hiding. So I dug into my pocket and grabbed up my keys and swung a few between my fingers. And as soon as I did, he banged the corner. He stopped for a couple of seconds, probably wondering where I had went. I thought to myself, this is my only chance, and I lunged forward, which hurt like hell because of the hit to my back. I landed a fistful of keys square in the neck. He stumbled back a few steps with his hand around his throat, and with his other hand free he tried to grab at me. So I decided to drive my keys through his arm. "Are you psychotic?" I shouted at him. "You have a hole in your neck and you're still trying to grab at me." At this point, he was just standing there, so I decided to punch him in the stomach with my keys and dragged him around the house. I am furious at this point. I open his car and throw him onto the engine. I put my hands on the hood of the car and look him dead in the eyes, and then he mutters, "Please, have mercy." about to kill me right out in the open like I was some insignificant bug. So it's only fair I return the favor. Then he starts to tear up. And then he starts to bawl. Don't even start, I tell him. Dead men don't cry. I slam the car hood on him repeatedly until I hear a few snaps. Then I pick up the hammer he was going to use on me. And then I hit him again, and again, and again, directly in the spine. So if he isn't dead, ain't much he could do if he's paralyzed. I drag him around the car and throw him into the trunk. I find a piece of rope as I throw him in, and I tie his car to mine. I pull his car forward a little bit and clean up the blood and glass. I dispose of him by burning him, and then I crush his bones fine enough to mix with some cement. All I need to say about that is that my pavement needed a few touch-ups. I dump his car, and I can say, giving that bastard what he deserved was way more stress relieving than Minecraft. Might have to try it again sometime.